Welcome to Fearless Fridays. In this episode, we're gonna answer 5 questions that you all sent me involving traveling solo, how do I find spots to boondock, how do I plan these trips. So stay tuned because all these questions are gonna be answered here. But I'm also sharing 5 tips of all the planning that went into recording 5 mighty national parks in Utah for you. Stay tuned because a lot of tips and a lot of questions being answered will help you out, especially if you are a solo female trying to build the courage to take the leap and do your first travel. Let's go. Hello adventurers, welcome to our first Fearless Friday here in our channel. This is a space for our community to talk about some female solo traveling tips and travel inspiration. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and join our community because here we're gonna share safety tips and lots of traveling inspirational for you. On this Fridays, what we're gonna do is we're gonna casual take a stroll. This is nothing all the edited videos you see on the vlogs during the week. This is for us to chat about the last episode and review some big tips and talk more about inspiration. Last episode, we picked up our van in Salt Lake City in Indie Campers. So here comes the first tip right off the bat. Do not rent with Indie Campers. If y'all wanna go back to the episode and see how much was broken and how much was wrong with the van, I went through hell. I lost the first entire day of our trip that we were supposed to visit a dinosaur national monument in Utah. That's, by the way, if you're doing this 5 mighty trip in Utah, what a perfect route. I want to go back and I want to do it again in this order, but I want to spend more time. But no, it is doable to do the 5 parks in 5 days. Do not miss any of them. They have been the most amazing parks I have visited. Some so inspirational places. Literally, next episode is next Sunday. The episode where we go to the Arches National Park. I started and I jumped in and I already know this was one of my favorites. This was gonna be one of my favorite places. I never felt that before. I'm driving and I'm looking up and I'm like, tears are coming down my face from the place. It was crazy. But let's go back on the tips. So tip number 1, do not rent from Indie Campers. If you have felt for their scam, watch last episode from last Sunday. I give tips on how to get your money back. Very important because a lot of us are being scammed by this company. A lot of reports on Facebook, all the communities I join. So watch last episode because I let you know exactly how you can get your money back from Indie Campers as well without having to deal with them. It's a trick with your credit card company. Tip number 2, when you are planning these trips, especially in a camper, may you drive your own RV, your van life, or you're renting like me and experiencing this. Let me wait for this police car to pass. All right, we're clear. So the first thing you wanna do, no we're not, take 3. All right, here we continue on. So the first thing you wanna do when you are planning this trip, especially for the national parks, main tip number 2, plan this trip in advance, way in advance. Some of these parks don't have spots anymore for you to book your entrance to the park months in advance. Most of them, by my experience, about 3 months before your travel date is when those dates start appearing in the system. And it's kind of like when you're getting a ticket to, something that's gonna sell out, that you need to be there at the time the ticket's gonna drop. So for these national parks, you need to be in the system like at midnight, before it turns midnight, when the window's gonna open, especially for camping spots. If you're planning to spend the night in one of these parks, the camping spots go super fast. If you research like what's the best spot in the campsite at the time that they drop, that they open, you can still choose your spot. And some of them is a huge difference. I'll let you know throughout the episodes what camping spots I got, because some of them was a big difference. I had a picnic table behind, I had more privacy, and I'll let you know what spots to look for throughout the episodes and when we do this Friday chats. Make sure you leave the comments any questions you have. This is for us to talk. I'm gonna be answering questions here today. But let's continue with our tips. I just wanna give you all the best that I have on information from starting our trip today. Tip number 3, when you pick up the vehicle, if you're renting, I already say this in the episode that I pick up the van, to check everything, right? Check all if there's any damage in the vehicle, open the sink, turn on the propane. But you also, that was my mistake, let it run for a little bit. So if there's a leak, if there's a problem, you can catch it. Had I let that sink run for a little bit before, I just opened and saw that there was water, and I was like, okay, it's working. But had I let that water run for a little bit more, I would have caught the issue before, and maybe we wouldn't have all the troubles we had. I'm gonna stop on the tips and I'm gonna jump in. Question number 1, because a lot of people ask me, why did you take that van if you saw, the toilet was broken right away and other things were broken when I was picking it up? The reason why is they did not have any other vehicle available. So either I would have to cancel my entire trip, all my plans, and I did not want to do that. So I've been thinking a lot about building my own camper, and I figure, you know what? Let me just go through and see what's life with those challenges on the road. And that's what I did. And yes, I experienced a very real van life. For my van lifers out there, kudos to you. I'm not sure I could do this full time, but I really want to do it part time. So yeah, a lot of troubles were there. So when you pick up your rental, make sure you run things for a little bit. This way you can catch any of these errors if it's in the propane line, if it's in the water line, you can catch anything going wrong. Next tip. We talked about the Uber, and I always tell this for any female, for anyone, but females traveling solo out there. Do not get in a rental car, Uber, Lyft, whatever that is, without, they always say, are you Selena, right? I don't confirm that. I ask, what is your name? I don't say, are you, I don't know, let's pretend the name is Robert on the app. I don't say, are you Robert? Because if it's someone with bad intentions, they're just gonna confirm yes. I ask them, what is your name? And I make them say the name to see if it matches the app. Again, the picture, make sure you make it bigger and you identify that the person matches. And that line, the plate, the car, the vehicle plate, make sure that matches. None of those match, or I had once the driver did not want to say his name. I'm like, I'm not getting in the car. And I did not get in the car. And right after getting in the car, pick up your phone, pretend you're doing a call, and say, hey, I sent you my live location so you can watch me live where I am. I see you waiting there for me. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon. So they think someone is literally watching your location live. The thing about being safe, traveling as a solo female, the main thing is don't make yourself an easy target. Don't be on your phone getting to the car, looking down, not attentive to what's going around in the space. If you don't make it easy, chances are, if there are people with bad intentions, you are not going to be the first target they're going to pick. Because they're going to be, okay, this person's more attentive, it's going to give me more of a hard time. I'll wait for a next person that is distracted. So here's my tips for you, my solo females. Let's stay safe out there. Please let me know if you have more tips to share so I can share with everyone else. All right, the next question I'm going to answer is, why did I pick Utah? Utah has these 5 mighty national parks. They are told to be one of the most beautiful national parks in the U.S. And I wanted to hit a lot of places in one run, and it worked perfectly because I wanted to go to an Old Dominion concert, and they had that concert in Salt Lake City. But I called my American mom, Denise, hi. She lives in Vegas, so it was perfect for me to start in Salt Lake City, return the rental in Las Vegas because the company was available in both locations, and go drive through all the national parks. So definitely this itinerary is pure perfection. I also partner up with a couple that creates itineraries, and they live in the Rockies. They're called the Rockies. Thank you, the Rockies, for helping the Let's Adventure create this trip. I'm gonna leave in the description of this video their guide, because it has all the details about all the parks, and that helped me put my itinerary together. And if you're looking for a quick 5-day, 5 national parks in a camper itinerary, I'm gonna be releasing that before the end of the season. So stay tuned, join us, subscribe, come here for travel inspiration and all these tips. Now let me look at my list and see what's the next question I had on the list. Perfect. The next question was, how do I plan these trips? Because some of you, the people who just watch the channel and see all this episodes spaced out, right? Y'all think that I am constantly traveling like a van lifer. I am not. I do this part-time. I only do this on my vacation time from my full-time job. So I have a full-time job. I go part-time to school, and I keep this YouTube alive. And I want to do more of this with y'all. That is why I'm always asking, let me know in the comments what you want, because I am here to inspire you to get out there, especially my solo females. Don't wait for anybody. Don't wait for a friend or your husband or a solo traveler, not necessarily as a single traveler. A lot of people confuse that. We need to live these experiences on our own, for our own growth, for you to know who you are, for you to know what you can handle. So I'm here to inspire you to take that leap and know how to do it safely. So a question was, why do this alone? Because when you're traveling solo, you're experiencing situations that, number one, you're flexible to do whatever you want. I love having a packed and ready to go schedule, because I know what's to do out there, but I also know I can adjust and go with the flow. But when situations happen, you learn so much about yourself. You can hear this voice inside of you. You get so fine-tuned with your intuition, especially my ladies, when parking your camper van in places. Let's talk a little bit about boondocking. I hear a lot of van lifers and other people say, if your intuition tells you, do not stay in this location, do not stay in that location. Something is making you feel unsettled about where you park the van, that's for you to move. You're gonna see on these episodes that in one of the places I pulled the van, I felt very unsettled about where I was, so I moved and found another spot. Another tip I'm gonna leave in this episode, very important tip for solo travelers, van lifers, research your boondock spots before. That's very important for you traveling solo. A lot of couples, they just wing, and let's say midday when they're looking for the spot they're gonna camp for the night, one person is driving, the other one is looking for the spot. When you're traveling solo, you don't have that person, and I promise you, searching for a spot to sleep when night is falling is gonna make you so stressed out. Don't do that to yourself. Plan before your trip the spots you're gonna be, where you're gonna sleep, so you can already purchase camping if that's what you want to do for that night, or find at least a few different boondocking spots that you can boondock. So if one doesn't work, you know exactly where you're moving next. If the second doesn't work, you know exactly where you're moving next. At least 3 spots. I use iOverlander. There's also the Dirt. There are other apps online that you can use to find the spots. So research before you out on the road and traveling solo. And the last question I'm gonna answer today is, I wanna travel solo, Selena, but I don't even know where to start. So here's my tip for you. This bug bit me when I also wanted to start traveling solo. So I'm gonna share more about my story, but a lot of you don't know. I was divorced ages ago, and I always had long relationships my entire life on my own. And little by little, I took myself out for dinner one day. I took myself out to a movie one day. You have to have, I can't stress this enough for all women out there. Find this independence and this freedom of being comfortable with your own self. This is the best learning I have had through my life, and the thing I'm most proud and I'm most comfortable with, because you grow these baby steps. So take yourself for a dinner, take yourself to a movie, take yourself to, a concert. I went to a concert by myself. I went out dancing by myself. And these little steps will build you up. And then plan a small trip close to home. Maybe that is, a city nearby. And I looked for one of those tiny homes to rent. And I sometimes get very deep into reflections about life and setting goals. And I love lists and writing down. So I booked the trip by the New Year's because I love doing all those reflections in the New Year's. Let me know if you want to do something like this together. I would love to plan and share some of that stuff with you all. But I planned a tiny house trip in the beginning of the year, and I just planned a long weekend. It was, I think, 3 nights in this tiny home. And that was my first solo trip, and I enjoyed it so much. And from there, I start growing. I've done travel international by myself. I've done many trips by myself. But that tiny home is actually how it bit the bug with me to travel in a camper van. But with the camper van, it all started when I met this couple that traveled from Brazil to Alaska on a camper. And I met them when they were in Florida. Hi, Ale. Hi, Duda. And that is how I got to do and start doing what I'm doing now. So I really hope you enjoyed our first Fearless Friday to talk about how to be fearless on the road, how to get yourself out there, how to start living these experiences and explore more. Please let me know in the comments what you thought about this first Friday for our community. Let me know the question below what you want to talk about more. Next Friday, we're going to be reviewing about the Arches National Park that I briefly mentioned. It was one of the favorite national parks on this trip. So stay tuned for next Sunday. I can't wait to share that experience, that inspiring experience with you. And please let me know in the comments what we want to talk about next Friday, because I'll be here in a walk in the park, probably not the same one, right here with you adventures. See you there. And if you missed the video we were referring to in this Fearless Friday, it's here on the screen. And stay tuned, because next Sunday we're visiting Arches National Park, and I can't wait to share all this inspiration and travel tips with you. Make sure you subscribe for all this fun. See you then, adventurers.